misfired emotions. Gotta keep it clean, must go unseen. Unseen genes are malfunctioning meat machines. This is what we are, this is all we'll be. Colliding forces that never agree. All these pieces are out of sync. I'm torn between sorrows and instinct.
I don't think you can come to Palm Springs and not fall in love with it. First of all, the weather there's something about the weather here, the desert and the whole thing. So here I am, and I've been here ever since, loving it to death.
Welcome back to Palm Springs Edge TV, your inside source for all that is music and entertainment from across the valley and beyond. I'm your host, Sarah D., and today we're reporting from the absolutely gorgeous Arthur Elrod House, which you may recognize from the James Bond 007 movie, Diamonds Are Forever. Today, we'll take a historical look back at some of the events and people that helped to make Palm Springs an internationally recognized destination. Follow along as we take you on a celebrity tour of Palm Springs, Edge TV style, stopping at the fabulous estates of the legendary performers and big spenders of yesteryear. Then join us as we sit with Palm Springs' very own Mel Haber, owner of the popular and historic Ingleside Inn and Melvin's Restaurant, as he talks Sinatra, Schwarzenegger, and Cecil's. But our first stop on this tour is the Movie Colony Hotel, where everyone is anxiously waiting to board the bus. Colony Hotel, there is the Jim Morrison Suite, where legend has it he jumped off of the roof and into the pool, definitely in Jim Morrison's style. And throughout the whole hotel room, you can definitely feel that rock and roll vibe. So we're on the balcony where all of this started, the legend of Jim Morrison jumping over the balcony. This is pretty cool.
Absolutely, yeah. And as a matter of fact, there's a beautiful view of the Movie Colony neighborhood here. There's still quite a few stars that do live here, but through the years, everyone from Frank Sinatra to Clark Gable, a lot of really familiar names here. Old Hollywood built up this neighborhood. Nice, beautiful, modest homes, but once you get inside, they're just decked out beautiful.
Breathtaking. Awesome.
Absolutely.
And it is pretty cool being on this balcony and just thinking of Jim Morrison. I wondered what sparked that jump.
I know.
What was going through?
Well, there's a lot of history here, and as we know, he was a real party man, and I think he just had a crowd that needed to be entertained, and nothing more entertaining than a nice stunt.
Exactly. Love it.
This is Miss California, USA. You're watching Palm Springs Edge TV.
We're here with a very special guest today. It's a Palm Springs icon. His name is Mel Haver. He is the owner of Ingleside Inn as well as Melvin's Restaurant, and he is also the author of Bedtime Stories, in which he remembers all the different situations, hilarious moments that he has had at the hotel and restaurant. Thank you, Mel, for your time. Thank you for having us here at the hotel.
My pleasure, Sarah, but one quick correction. I'm not an icon, I'm a relic.
You're a relic?
Yes,
okay.
An official relic of the city of Palm Springs.
My mistake. Won't happen again. Awesome. Now, I could not put your book down. It was fascinating. And being a little bit younger, I was kind of worried about maybe not knowing names and so forth. But You are quite the storyteller.
I'm not a writer, I'm a storyteller, and I've had a lot of great experiences.
You have had a
As
lot
you
of
have read.
experiences. Yeah, I couldn't believe that they were all true.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they're wonderful. You've got a life definitely good enough to make a movie, that's for
Yes.
sure. And then opening night, you
Oh,
ended
yeah.
up turning away some.
Oh, everybody
big
knows me.
people.
Oh, yeah. There was a guy that hung around all summer while I was remodeling the place, summer of 1975. He was a parking lot attendant at Lyons English Grill down the block, which closes for the summer. Young man by the name of Danny Glick, who today operates those balloons you see over the desert.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But anyway, Danny was hanging around every day. We became friends, young fella, and he assured me that when I opened, he would make sure that everybody from Lyons English Grill came up to see the new place that opened. Now, it's opening night. I have the maitre d' from the famous racket club. And I walk in opening night, and I am as nervous as you could possibly be. And the maitre d', and everybody's beautifully dressed, all the customers that came that night, and everybody was waiting for me to open, so I had quite a large crowd. And as I walked in, the maitre d' pointed out, there's Frank Bogart, the mayor of Palm Springs, and there's Mistress Florsheim from Florsheim Shoes, and there's Molly Burns, who owns the 21 Club. And I had the who's who of the world in my restaurant, and I just couldn't get over it. And during the course of the evening, many people came up and said, Danny Glick told me I had to come up here to see your place. And I even got Jimmy Francioso, the actor, and there must have been about 20 people.
Danny's quite the promoter.
Oh yes, he really was a wonderful young man. Well, during the course of the evening, I was nervous. I walked outside. In those days, I smoked. I don't any longer. And I went out to take a smoke. And a motorcycle pulls up with a pretty girl on the back, and the guy's dressed, and the girl is dressed as they should be on a motorcycle. And I look at the guy, and I'm in a blazer and a tie, and I look at the guy and I said, buddy, give me a break. It's my opening night. And the guy looks at me and laughs, and he takes off. No big problem, and I was very proud of myself how adeptly I handled the problem. And I go back in, and about an hour later, Danny comes up and says, well, Mel, how'd it go? I said, Danny, it went wonderful. I can't thank you enough. He said, did you get all the people I sent up? I said, yes, absolutely, Danny. He says, did you get Jimmy Francioso? I said, yeah, he was wonderful. He said, what about Steve McQueen and Ali McGraw? I said, Steve McQueen never came up here. He said, what do you mean? He was on a big blue Harley, promised me he'd come right up. And everybody seems to remember that I chased Steve McQueen away not knowing who he was.
Did he ever come back?
No, but Ali McGraw came back and stayed.
Did she? Did
Yeah,
you tell
and
her this? Did you guys talk about the
Oh,
story?
yes, absolutely. Oh, she knew that I chased her away, absolutely.
What did they say after they left? Did you say
Nothing,
that?
they just smiled at me and took off. And when Ali McGraw came back, she asked me if she can come back in this time. I said, certainly.
As long as you're not on a motorcycle. Which celebrity or big spender maybe created the biggest buzz while they were staying in town?
Without question, Frank Sinatra.
Frank Sinatra.
There was only one Frank Sinatra. We had his pre-wedding dinner here, and I mean, everybody has 100 Sinatra stories to
They
tell.
do.
He was quite a guy. The only human being I was ever in awe of.
Yeah.
When he came in, I would find myself in the kitchen, where I don't know what to do in the kitchen. I'd find myself in the bathroom. Any place not to be around him.
Really?
Yeah, there
Just
was an
the nerves?
There was just an aura about him, of power, it was almost impossible to describe. Frank Sinatra was Frank Sinatra, no question about it. And we had his pre-wedding dinner here the night before he married Barbara Marx, which he married the next day at the Annenberg estate.
Right.
He had his pre-wedding dinner here.
And they were here pretty late that night.
Oh, yes,
So
they were.
they were the last two to leave their party.
Yes, and they were, and the Enquirer jumped out behind the tree, it took a picture, and Julie Rizzo being his right-hand man, ran up to the photographer, ripped the camera out of his hand, opened it, ripped the film out, threw it on the floor, and Monday morning the picture was in the Enquirer. 1979, I built a discotheque called Cecil's in the Smoke Tree Shopping Center down here.
What made you decide to go that route?
Because
Weren't you busy enough?
No, because every disco I ever went to, and those were the days of disco, the noise was so loud that you couldn't hear.
Right.
And it was just wrong. And I always had this concept of making the dance floor and the dances the show. And the disc jockey should be someplace where you don't even see him. He's not the star of the show, it's the people dancing, the beautiful women on the floor. But built like a theater in the round, where if you didn't dance, you weren't obviously a wallflower. You could sit in your booth and you could watch the people dance. There was a second part of the concept that was essential. There had to be a second room where people who didn't want to be in the disco for the lights or the music or whatever could sit at a bar and watch everybody going in and out of the disco. And also it'd be a room where you would slow dance. So if a guy met a girl in the disco, instead of everybody hitting on this girl, he could ask her, would you like to go in the other room and have a quiet drink and have a quiet dance?
Aww.
And the concept was unbelievable. It was wildly successful. So successful that at times it was unmanageable. I couldn't handle the crowds. The fire department was threatening to put me in jail. And I wasn't intentionally overcrowding. I mean, people wanted to get in. They'd send somebody in to go to an exit door, and there would be 10 guys waiting by the exit door, and this guy would push the exit door open, and 10 people would come in the back.
Run inside.
I mean, at one time, we had one of the cooks, I'll never forget it, by the fire department, you have to have a door that opens from the inside, right? You gotta have a bunch of them that just pushes out. We had, one holiday, we had a cook standing by the kitchen door with a frying pan. Everybody would try to sneak in the door. He'd whack them over the head. I mean, we had people coming in from all the exit doors. Unbelievable.
Oh my goodness.
It was wonderful. And then I had a sign over the door in the disco, through these doors, past the most beautiful women in the world. And they certainly did. It was the kind of place you want. I'm going to give you a statistic that I love.
Okay.
This is a discotheque in a shopping center in Palm Springs. Got the picture?
Right.
No dress code. Shopping center in Palm Springs. We took a survey one Saturday night. 80% of the guys wore jackets, 50% wore ties. That's unbelievable. The record was 42 Rolls Royces in the parking lot. I mean, the place was mind-boggling. It's where a beautiful woman like you would want to go, because if you met a guy there, the chances are he was a class act.
Right.
And you would want to dress up to go there. It was just unbelievable.
Wow, classy people.
Oh yeah, it was the greatest.
So during your time at Cecil's, anything that stuck out, any nice star-studded story that you've got?
Well, one night Joan Collins was in, the beautiful, magnificent Joan Collins.
Beautiful.
And she asked me to dance, and I almost fell down. And we had this 2 or 3 dances, and I was smitten, I must tell you, and then I went on about my business. And the next day at the Ingleside Inn, she had left a signed picture for me of her. There's one other story I love to tell, and the title of the story is called Love at First Sight. The DJ booth in Cecil's was up high, and I was a single guy in the prime of my life, my early 40s at that time.
Talk about a catch.
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, my competition in town was 80 years old. That was really a catch. And I used to spend the night up in the disco booth because you could see everything going on. You could see all the dancers, you could see the cocktail girls, you could see the bartender, you could see everything. And I would be up there with the excuse of playing the lights with the DJ. And my wife, now of 27 years, the beautiful Stephanie, tells the story how she walked in the first night with a girlfriend. And she saw me up in the disco booth. And she poked her girlfriend and said, "Isn't that guy a little old to be a disc jockey?" Now, is that love at first sight?
That's love at first sight.
And remember, I was the prime of my life. I was in my early 40s. And, Mr. Shishi, Mr. Palm Springs. And isn't that guy a little old to be a disc jockey?
Thank you so much, Mel, for your time. It was sincerely a pleasure. And your book was a pleasure to read. I couldn't put it down. Finished it in a couple days flat. And for anyone who wants a good read, a lot of nice stories, make you feel the magic, the memories of Palm Springs and the Ingleside Inn and Melvin's. Definitely take a look at it. I'm Sarah D. I'm here with Mel Haber. Thank you. I just love Mel, and hearing all those wonderful stories of the earlier glamour days of Palm Springs make for the perfect bedtime story. Don't forget to pick up Mel's book, which I highly recommend. It is available at the Ingleside Inn in downtown Palm Springs. Now, here's our lovely and talented local KXPS sports correspondent, Julie Buehler, at this year's Bob Hope Classic opening gala.
I'm Julie Buehler, your Palm Springs Edge sports correspondent. Tonight, we are at the 51st annual Bob Hope Classic Charity Ball at the beautiful Renaissance Esmeralda. A lot of people filing in, as you can see behind me. Tonight's theme, Road to Hong Kong. Yogi Berra, who's one of my personal favorite athletes of all time, is the commissioner tonight, and we've got 700 attendees ready to do some dancing, a little bit of wine, and plenty of eating as well. Entertainment for tonight, none other than Queen Latifah. Should be a great night. We'll bring you all the interviews you need and the ambiance galore. No Bob Hope Classic is complete without a gigantic geisha. What's the weather like up there? Oh, it's nice, she said. Now, tell the truth. When was the last time you practiced?
Yesterday.
Wow, so you're putting some effort into this.
Yeah, I wanted to show up and actually play at least to the level of my own game.
Okay.
So, you know, if I got to represent a 2 handicap out here this week, so I want to live up to it.
Wow, Alfonso and Andre, how about you?
I played 2 days ago. Yeah, so, you know, I'm not as good as a 2, but I'm about a 9, 10. I'm all right.
You better work it out.
I can work it out. I've played in a lot of these things, but, of course, with Bob Hope's name on this, it's synonymous with what he's done, and the charities, that's what golf is about us being here.
Greg, tell us about this event tonight and what your expectations for the charity event are over the week.
Well, you know, I've been fortunate to stay employed with the Berger Foundation, that obviously is a big supporter of the Bob Hope event. And, you know, this event sort of kicks off the week. We have the pairings party on Friday, but this is really the showpiece of the whole week. So it's a lot of fun. I've been able to come to it every year since I've been here, and I look forward to tonight for sure.
Spring training is just around the corner. Who are some of your preseason favorites in baseball right now?
Yankees.
Shockingly enough, Yogi Berra is picking the Yankees.
Well, I think we have another good team. We really do.
Absolutely.
I think so. We got some good players. I think the addition we had on this year,
Granderson. Excellent.
Help us a little more.
Great. Now let's focus on the Bob Hope Classic. You've been to plenty of these tournaments, and now you're the official commissioner. Can you talk about what this tournament means to you?
Well, it means a lot to me. This is my 16th year out here now, and to become the ambassador for the Bob Hope is great. He's a great man.
Hey, Mr. Cooper, I love your pants.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You should see the underwear.
And they want to meet him. And they want to meet him.
We're wrapping up the Bob Hope Chrysler Classic with our annual Classy Party at one of our favorite locations, the Jackalope Branch. What are you doing out here in the desert?
I am getting away from LA so I can produce new artists for Bungalow Universal.
Can you tell us anything about it?
Yeah, her name's Carly Peterson, and her first single should be hitting the airwaves over the summer.
So to listen for it.
The party's turning out pretty well tonight. What do you think?
I love it. I'm always at your parties.
You are?
Yeah.
All right, well, we're going to be doing this once a month.
Oh, I love it.
So can't beat this. This is like, people say it's like being in LA or San Diego, or it's like one of the nicest places in the world.
This is beautiful. It's a very, very I mean, this is perfect for this party. It's classy. It's upscale. You feel a little rich. I was on the hunt for classy people, and I found Adam, one of my favorite classy people.
Hey guys, how's everyone doing?
You've always got so much class.
Well, I figured tonight's the classy party, so I have to do my part in just the occasion.
These are the Jackalope bartenders that make this place such a success.
There's a lot of people here tonight.
So I want to tell you, I appreciate you inviting your friends.
You're welcome. I've had fun every time.
All right, we're gonna be doing this again next month. So you coming again next month?
Of course, always.
So Jeremy, how did you start playing? Like, what inspired you to get into this kind of music?
Well, I started actually DJing in the year 2000 when I was in college.
on a radio show. And then from there, they gave me a radio show called Apocalypse, which was based around electronic music.
Nice.
And then I learned how to spin on turntables, like in 2001. And from there,
Spinning the vinyl. I love it.
And now it's all, digital now, MP3 and all that stuff. So now it's just a constant progression.
Where did JF Discord come from?
My name is actually from my initials, which is my first name and last name, Jeremy Ferguson. And then back in high school, I had a band. It was actually a death metal band. Death metal band called Discordance. So what I did is I fused my initials, JF, and then with my first band, Discordance. So JF Discord.
I like it.
Me too. So what I do is I try to incorporate a lot of styles from my whole life as, DJ and musician when I was in high school. And just whatever I'm feeling in the moment, just I get it out.
Everyone's enjoying their history lesson today. Now, here's a bit of trivia for you. Who said, "I'm for anything that gets you through the night, be it prayer, tranquilizers, or a bottle of Jack Daniels"? Let's find out in this next segment. We're at the Frank Sinatra Twin Palms home, and we are so excited for just our Edge TV viewers.
These are the twin palm trees for which the house is named. There was also a flagpole here that Mr. Sinatra used to raise the Jack Daniels flag and let his cronies know that it was time to come over for drinks. Does anybody know what Frank's favorite drink was? It's rumored that when Ava Gardner heard that Frank was hanging out with Lana Turner, she came running over here and they had a huge row in the bathroom, and he got so mad he broke a bottle of Jack Daniels in the sink. We have a lot of Rat Pack parties, so people can have a little bit of a fantasy.
Yeah.
Get out of their everyday lives, have a little joy in their lives. Think of what it might have been like to go back to those days that were a little bit more innocent.
Innocent, the old Hollywood glamour. I don't know if I'd use innocent. Come on now.
Well, what you see on TV may not be what was going on.
Right.
So people can come and live out their fantasies, sleep in Frank's room. For a little bit less than $2,000 a night, you could rent the house too, from Beaumont Villas.
Wonderful. Or for your event, weddings, whatever you may have. Thank you so much for the tour. It was honestly an absolute pleasure. From Palm Springs viewers to you, thank you so much.
Come back, let's do it in the dark.
That's Coachella Valley band House of Broken Promises with the premiere of their video, The Hurt, which will soon be debuting on MTV2's Headbangers Ball. Well, Edge viewers, that brings us to the end of another great episode of Palm Springs Edge TV. We'd like to thank Beaumont Villas and X Point Realty for providing us with access to these amazing homes, and Celebrity Tours for taking us on such an exciting adventure. And if you'd like to see the Elrod House in person, the Palm Springs Preservation Foundation is throwing a Retro Martini Party fundraiser here this month. For tickets and info, please visit pspreservationfoundation.org. We'd also like to thank KCLB 93.7 and the amazing Angela Romeo. Angela, your jewelry rocks. Stay tuned for next time when we visit another era of Palm Springs history, Spring Break 1980s style, as well as a behind-the-scenes photo shoot with photographer David Blank of Blank Studios in Palm Desert. As for me, Sarah D, I'm out of here. This is Sarah D and 20 of my closest friends signing off from the Frank Sinatra Twin Palms estate. We love Palm Springs HTV!
They call me Jerry because they think I look like Jerry Seinfeld and talk like him, but I really don't. Like, what's the deal with that ridiculous grape nut cereal? There's no grapes, no nuts.